Yeah, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? Terence Bud Crawford stops Errol the True Spence Jr. in round 9. That was actually the round that I predicted Errol Spence to stop Terence Crawford. Oh, how the tables turn. I told y'all that whoever won this fight is the number 1 pound for pound fighter in the sport. Whether it was Errol Spence or it was Terence Crawford, I picked Errol Spence to win. And Terence Crawford came out on top in dominant fashion, in flawless fashion, spectacular performance, incredible. Terence Crawford is the number 1 pound for pound fighter on the planet. He's the best fighter on the planet. I don't see nobody at 147 or 154 right now. After what I seen, I don't see nobody fucking with him. I don't see nobody being able to do anything with him. I knew Terence Crawford was a great fighter. I always gave him his props as far as his skills. I always gave him his credit as far as his abilities and what he could do. I'm a Terence Crawford fan myself, but a bigger fan of Errol Spence. I'm from Dallas, Texas. You know, I gotta stand on Texas business. You feel what I'm saying? I gotta root for my guy. I gotta support my guy. Still a huge fan of Errol Spence. And will continue to support Errol Spence going forward, no matter what he decides to do. Move up, retire, take time off. Whatever Errol Spence decide to do, still a huge fan of Errol Spence and still an Errol Spence supporter through and through. I want to thank both of these guys, number one, for making this fight happen, getting in the ring, and allowing us to see what it really is. Yeah, no matter what side you stood on, whether you was rooting for Terence Crawford and you picked him to win, or vice versa, you picked Errol Spence. No matter what side you stood on, this shit wouldn't be possible for us to see the end result, to actually find out who was the best. You can think this guy's the best or that guy's the best, but it was settled in the ring. And we have to thank Errol Spence and Terence Crawford for making this shit happen. You feel what I'm saying? Because without them coming together and making this fight happen, we wouldn't be at this point. Now we know, without a doubt. And man, I had never seen Errol Spence get dominated like that. I had never seen Errol Spence bloody. I had never seen Errol Spence outclassed. Terence Crawford outclassed Errol Spence. Terence Crawford was better than Errol Spence in every way. He was faster. He was sharper. He was smarter. He was stronger. He had more power. He was more patient. Had a better game plan. More fluid, more versatile. Terence Crawford just proved that he was an overall better fighter through and through. Also, I felt like what's even crazy, the craziest thing, because I told y'all that in order for Terence Crawford to beat Errol Spence, you gotta hurt him. And that's exactly what he did. He knocked him down in the second round and hurt Errol Spence multiple times throughout the fight. And I told y'all that if Terence Crawford get Errol Spence hurt, he gonna finish him, because I have Terence Crawford pegged as the best finisher in the sport. Everything that I said Terence Crawford needed to do to win, he did that. He even took away Errol Spence's jab with the counterpunching in southpaw. Something that I thought he was gonna struggle with Errol Spence being a natural southpaw, but he showed that the speed, the timing, and the ability to punch in between punches was just too much for Errol Spence. But one of the biggest things that stood out to me is that Terence Crawford, I don't even think he didn't even have to go to another level. Terence Crawford was in cruise control. and dominated Errol Spence in spectacular fashion. One could even say that he carried Errol Spence to the later rounds. Because it seemed like to me, at any point after the third round, it seemed to me that he could have ended that shit at any moment. But he took his time. He was patient, super sharp. He didn't, you know what I'm saying? He didn't get out of character at all. And I want to give credit to Bomac as well, because Bomac was very sharp in the corner, giving sound instruction, keeping Terence Crawford cool, calm, and collected at that level, letting them know, like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, really analyzing Errol Spence from the corner's perspective. Bomac knew that Errol Spence didn't have shit else to give. And he said that in the corner. He like, look, you got him. Keep punching in between his punches with that jab. Keep that stiff jab in his face. He was keeping Terence Crawford calm in the corner, even though he was totally in control of the fight, and allowed him to build up to the stoppage and not rush it, just was patient and sharp. Terence Crawford proved that he's undoubtedly the best fighter on the planet. Yeah, some fights that you might want to see. You might want to see the Jermell Charlo fight, if depending on how he looked versus Canelo at 168. Still don't know what that's going to look like. It's a big jump for Jermell going up there. People might want to see the boost in this fight. People might, I heard Keith Thurman calling out Terence Crawford. At this point, I just don't see nobody fucking with Terence Crawford right now. I don't. You got to give that man his credit. You got to give him his credit. You got to stand on that. You feel me? No matter who I pick, at the end of the day, the better man won. You know what I'm saying? Terence Crawford is a phenomenal fighter, man. It's nothing that he can't do in that ring. And for Errol Spence, let me give some flowers to Errol Spence. Errol Spence went out on his shield. Errol Spence could have quit multiple times in that fight. He could have quit. He could have gave up. He got hurt many times, got knocked down 3 times. This was the first time he ever been knocked down in his career, 3 times in the same fight. And he kept getting up and he kept pressing forward, kept throwing punches, kept trying to make it a fight, even though he was getting absolutely dominated. And he took a beating in there, took a lot of punishment, finished the fight on his feet, went out on his shield. So I give Errol Spence a lot of credit for that. This is one of those fights where I knew it was going to be, I knew motherfuckers was going to have to fight. Motherfuckers was going to have to stand on something. This wasn't finna be no pity-pat fight where you can just, coast your way through. Like, some was going to get found out in this fight, and we found out that Terence Crawford was the better fighter. We found out that Terence Crawford just had more skills, and he was smarter, he was stronger, he was everything that Terence Crawford fans said that he was and more. He was everything that I thought he was and more. I'm so impressed with how easy Terence Crawford made this fight look. Unbelievable. This is one of the best performances that I've ever seen. From beginning to end, from top to bottom, the way he just dismantled one of the best fighters in the world in Errol Spence. Errol Spence been in with some of the best fighters and dominated them, beat them in multiple ways. And Terence Crawford went out there and beat what I thought was the very best version of Errol Spence. Totally dominated him. I'm beyond impressed with what Terence Crawford just accomplished, becoming the first male fighter to be undisputed in 2 different weight classes. We talking about legendary shit. You know what I'm saying? We talking about rarity. Some shit Floyd Mayweather never even did. You know what I'm saying? Floyd Mayweather never been undisputed before, let alone undisputed in 2 different weight classes. You dig what I'm saying? Dominant performance, man. I can't say enough about it, man. I can't say enough about it. And I'll say this as well. I know a lot of y'all, a lot of y'all found my channel because of the Terence Crawford and Errol Spence fight. Whether you were an Errol Spence fan, a lot of people from Texas and from Dallas follow my channel. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to y'all. Shout out to my fellow Dallas Texans. A lot of people from all over that was Errol Spence fans follow this channel. A lot of people that's Terence Crawford fans follow this channel because of the build-up. Both fan bases wanting to see these guys get in the ring. And I just want to say this for the motherfuckers who thinking that, oh, just because Errol Spence lost, that we not gonna post boxing content no more, that we not gonna talk about boxing, or you thought I was gonna get on here and make excuses, or you thought I was gonna get on here and hate on Terence Crawford, you thought I was gonna get on here and be on some whole shit. No, we still talking boxing. We still gonna make great boxing content. We still gonna give fighters they credit when they deserve it. We still gonna break down and analyze fights. Yes, and there's gonna be certain fighters that I'm partial to. There's gonna be certain guys that I'm gonna root for. You know what I'm saying? I have my favorites just like you got your favorites. The difference is that I'm honest about my shit. A lot of these motherfuckers claim that they unbiased, but they not really unbiased. They got their favorites too. They just not gonna come out and say it. Now, especially when you talking about when it comes to somebody from Texas, from my city, I'm riding with them. I don't give a fuck if they going up against Godzilla. I'm riding with them. Point blank, period. I met that man Errol Spence in person. You feel me? On some regular shit. Just being in the city. You know what I'm saying? Seeing a man out and about, dapped him up, chopped it up with a man, just on some real motherfucker type shit. It's real support. And I stand on that, and that support gonna stay there. But I'm still gonna be honest about my breakdowns, my analysis, my outlook on what I see taking place. I'm gonna give y'all my honest opinion about breakdowns and predictions and fights. I've been correct on a lot of predictions, and I've been wrong on some. But we will continue to talk boxing. We will continue to break down these fights. And I'll tell you this. I'm even more excited going forward now, seeing what Terence Crawford got left at age 35, about to be 36. Looked incredible out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, he looked flawless. Terence Crawford looked flawless at age 36. He about to be 36 in a couple of months. Looked flawless. I'm excited to see him take on these new challenges. I mean, at this point, I got him a favorite versus anybody at 147 or 154. And as far as a rematch, ain't no need for no rematch. Ain't no need for no rematch. Terence Crawford proved he the better fighter. Ain't no need for no rematch. And if Team Spence, if they set up a rematch, I know the type of dog that Errol Spence is, he gonna want to do some shit like that. It's not a good idea. We don't need to see no rematch. Sometimes motherfucker just got your number. Sometimes a fighter just better. In this situation, Terence Crawford is just better in every way. No excuses. If they fought 10 times, Terence Crawford winning 10 times. That's the type of performance he put on. You feel what I'm saying? I knew what Terence Crawford had, what he was bringing to the table. I knew the type of skill that he had. And I knew that this was a 50-50 fight. But again, I got to stand on Texas business. I got to roll with my guy. And I truly believed in my prediction. And I got proven wrong. It ain't the first time. It won't be the last time I get a prediction wrong. You know what I'm saying? But to close out, look, I'm proud of Terence Crawford. I'm proud of Errol Spence. I appreciate y'all for making this fight happen. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all for putting this shit together, for letting the fans see who really the best. You know what I'm saying? If they would have never fought, we'll still be talking about this shit, debating back and forth about who gonna do this and who gonna do that. You feel what I'm saying? But now we know for sure. Battery dying and shit. Now we know for sure. So, you know what I'm saying? Y'all continue to rock with your boy. We're gonna keep on talking boxing. And I'm gonna give it to you from a real perspective. I'm a fan just like y'all. Yeah, I talk this boxing, and I know what the fuck I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to my favorite fighters, I'm gonna be biased, but I'm gonna give y'all an honest opinion on what I think could happen. Go back and watch the live that I did right before the fight. I told y'all what could happen, but I told y'all what I thought was gonna happen and what I wanted to happen. And I believed in that. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. Salute to Terence Crawford, #1 pound for pound fighter in the sport, 2-time undisputed. I don't see nobody fucking with him. That's a bad man. He really is the boogeyman. He everything I thought he was and way more. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. What do y'all think is next for Terence Crawford? What do you think is next for Errol Spence? Should he take some time off? Should he retire? Should he move up to 154, try to fight again at the end of the year? Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Contender regime boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.